I wanted to share with you a story happened in 1994. It's one of those stories that when it unfolds and you're watching it happen, it kind of makes you feel good. Kind of feels beautiful. Kind of like one of those chicken soup of the soul stories that you read in the books. And this happened when I was at a church convocation in Los Angeles, California. And I was with my friend. We went to lunch, and we're coming back from the restaurant heading to the Bonaventure Hotel, where the convocation was at. And we see this homeless guy coming towards us. And he comes right to my friend, right into his face. He goes, June 23rd, 1953. And I look at my friend, and he's all white. And I said, does that mean something to you? He says, that's my exact birth date. I said, okay, let's cross the street. So we left the guy, we crossed the street. Across the street, next to the metro station, there's a subway there where the stairs come up. There's an old black guy that's playing a musical instrument, a saxophone. And he's standing with the sax in his hand, and he's got his musical case laid out on the sidewalk, and people are putting money in there and stuff. And I said, I'm going to ask this guy to play something. So I go up to him and I said, do you take requests? And he looks at me and he goes, try me. And I said, can you play my favorite song, Amazing Grace? And he looked at me and he goes, you know what? I've never played that song in my life, but for you, I'll give it a try. And he took his saxophone and he started playing the most beautiful jazz version of Amazing Grace I've ever heard in my entire life. It was so fantastic that all the people coming up from the subway down below on the stairs stopped and were listening to him. Traffic in this intersection coming four different ways all stopped. Nobody was paying attention to the lights. In fact, everybody in this intersection, this is Los Angeles, California, where people have heard and seen everything, they all stopped. And everybody was listening to this man play this beautiful Amazing Grace on a saxophone. And it was weird because I'm watching the guy, and he's no longer this grubby, dirty guy that I saw when I got. He's almost got this soft, glowing, ebony sense about him. There's something different. He's almost angelic. And he keeps playing, and he finishes, and people are still standing there. And so I put some more money in this thing, and I say, can you play that again as I walk back to the hotel? And so he starts playing this beautiful Amazing Grace as we're walking back, and people were mesmerized. I got on the airplane flying back to Sacramento, and I kept thinking about how wonderful neat that was. I was going to share it with my daughter, Dea. And I saw my daughter, Dea, and I said, hey, I got a story I got to tell you. This is something really neat happened to me. And she goes, oh, was that on Thursday? And I go, yeah, it was Thursday. She goes, was that 1 o'clock? And I go, yeah, why? She said, let me tell you what happened to me at 1 o'clock on Thursday. Me and my boyfriend were driving around Sacramento, and we were looking for a country and western radio station. We're fooling around the dial on the radio in the car. And all of a sudden we get this most beautiful playing of Amazing Grace, a musical version of Amazing Grace on the radio. It was so beautiful that we pulled over to the parking lot to sit there and turned off the car just to hear the music. And I'm looking at her going, whoa. So I told her my experience, which happened exactly at 1 o'clock on Thursday, same time she was hearing that there. And she found that interesting as I did. And then she goes, well, Dad, I got to go pick up my car. Can you give me a ride? And I said, great. It was being serviced. So I got into my pickup truck, and I turned on my car and randomly turned on the radio on a random radio station. And guess what? Amazing Grace was being played. And we both looked at each other and knew that was perfect timing. Doesn't get much better than that. So there's certain things that happen in life that have no explanation. We don't know why they happen or why things are sequenced like that. Was she actually hearing the same music I was? I don't know, but she was certainly hearing the same song. And then to come onto the radio in my truck, it's certainly better than accidental coincidence. And so it's one of those stories that I have no answer for. Why? How come? What happened? And if it was just a series of accidental events, then it's still divine because it really inspired me and it made me feel very peaceful and blissful inside. I hope that all of you have one of those Amazing Grace experiences. And I know every time I hear the song, I always remember what happened between me and my daughter, and it makes it even extra special. God bless. Hope you enjoyed.